wearing shorts at a certain length is a very big difference than an 11th grader wearing shorts at that length.
Yeah.
Same with dresses. I mean, it's different. Tops, it's different. It's very different between, you know, a first grader and an 11th grader.
And I know that the issue of the holes in the pants, the K through 5 policy is you need to wear tights or fabric underneath those holes to wear the high school. If in middle school, the regulation is by leg. I mean, or how high above the knee. Right now, I believe, Mr. Reddick, your policy is fingertip.
Well, that's the problem. So, for shorts and skirts, it's fingertip length. When the policy of the holes, because we didn't really have holes in the jeans until about 2-3 years ago. So when the holes became popular in the jeans, we just said that prior to that, there were no holes at all in jeans. So if you had holes, you had to change them. Well, then when they started coming out with the holes, we said that above the knees, they have to have something underneath them, they have to be covered. But the problem that we ran into is then the argument is you have this rule about shorts that are fingertip and skirts that are fingertip. Why would the jeans not be fingertip? Which again was something we would have looked at changing last year, but since we just rolled over the handbooks, that came from 2 years ago. So I agree with I agree with what they're saying, the fingertip length for the pants as well. I mean, that one makes sense. It just didn't get changed.
And we have the same when it comes to wearing the holes in the jeans, even though they have leggings underneath, we don't allow the holes in any of the areas of the fingertips.
So it is unilateral, I mean, when it gets down to it, fingertips. Okay. Alright. Okay, thank you.
I need your help with policy 9270.
Right.
Which I shared with you, which,
So policy,
it's who may participate in activities, because recently we've gotten some requests from some homeschool parents that they would like to have their children involved. But in trying to clarify what the policy is, there is some confusion between the handbooks and the actual policy in Neola. So I am asking you if you want the Neola policy, which I think it was your intent, but it was impossible to tell from a 2015 board meeting what your intent was with that. Is it only full-time students?
okay, so what I'd like to do is have a motion on the table for the ECA extracurricular activity update for eligibility, and then we can have a discussion. Just be flag that on your agenda.
Second.
Okay, now motion is second.
What's the motion?
The motion, Mr. Ross, is to.
It's really related to handbooks.
Yes, no.
And it's policy 9270, and it's clarifying, do you want the Neola policy to indicate that only full-time students can participate in extracurriculars at Delphi Community Schools?
Right now.
Or right now, the policy as it reads says that a superintendent can allow that if the student is taking one or more courses.
So the motion really needs to be one way or the other, right?
Yeah.
The motion is to direct me to rewrite the Neola, or to clarify the Neola policy or the handbook, whichever direction you want it to go.
Okay, so it'll be discussed.
Well, I just, as a member of the board at that time, that discussion was robust, and we very much wanted our students to be full-time if they're gonna be in athletics, because at that time, we were allowing students that were taking, I believe, only 1 or 2 courses, including including, I believe, FFA and some of those electives, and were participating in sports, and really it was very favorable once we pushed back and asked that they be only full-time students, and that seemed to not have a lot of barriers. I think everything was positive that came out of that, but that was the logic behind that decision, and although it's disappointing we can't actually get the wording, but that was the intent.
Well, we're in the business of providing full-time education for students, and I think the extracurricular privileging should be a requirement that they're a full-time student. Plus, don't we have something that you have to be passing so many solids to be eligible?
For high school athletics.
Yes, or well,
Yes.
so that would coincide with what our policy is.
Right.
for that.
But, I mean, that doesn't apply to all extracurricular.
Are there risks that we assume by, I mean, are these kids supposed to ride the buses to and from the sporting events or extracurricular events, or do we cover that if somebody from, that's taking one class is trying to do an extracurricular? I mean, are we liable for things like
Well,
that?
to be honest, this policy has not been enforced. The policy that's been enforced is the policy that's in your handbook, your student handbook. And so it hasn't been an issue. I just think if somebody's gonna look online and see what the policy is, it should match, the handbooks and this policy should match.
Basically, what we're doing is updating the NOAA policy to our handbook status.
Well, to what your philosophy is.
I know, Steve, we just came on board at that time. I remember a discussion in great detail, and even went to the point where a couple of us had meetings with people in the public at that time, and actually there was some enrollment because they seen the value of what that full-time meant to them. So, again, Steve, you got any comments on that part? Because I know you was on at that time, we came on together.
No, I mean, other than like, which one's doing it, I think the, participating in NCAA, you can get all kinds of business like that.
So, if we could, just amend a little bit, Tim, maybe on the motion to update the NOAA policy, to reflect, that they need to be a full-time student enrolled in order to participate with ECA instead of the superintendent having a jurisdiction to however he feels for the day.
Okay.
See if I can get this motion. I move that, do I need to move again, or do I
Just
need
make
to
it,
just update,
just update it.
update the motion?
Yep.
That we update our NOAA policy to match our handbook policy, that students must be full-time students to participate in extracurricular activities.
Is that what you? All right, so we had the motion updated on the floor. Any further discussion?
So, are we doing is, at this time, authorizing Mr. Brown to rewrite this and present it at the next meeting?
Correct. Yes, we only need to amend, since this is in an existing policy, you can amend it in one meeting.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. All right. Mr. Ross, school board information. You want me to hand
Well,
that in?
we have policy 5111, so we
Oh,
want.
sorry, I got the in between.
That's all right, I know you're in a hurry.
Nope, no, that's all right, sorry. I looked at them as the same, sorry.
No, that's
So,
okay.
go ahead, Mr. Rom. That's why you're here, keep me straight.
We just needed again to clarify the eligibility of students. The policy as it existed was really kind of disorganized, and so I tried to take the template from Neola and rewrite it, essentially what we're trying to do is add the fact that annually we're gonna review students who are transfer students. And also, even during the year, if a student is violating those criteria that are in the policy, then we may not retain them as transfer students. If they're failing, if they have serious behavior issues and so on. But one of the things that the high school has really struggled with is academic progress. That we have some transfer students who simply have not earned any credits, and they're not making progress toward graduation, and it's not a productive situation for us. So this updated policy would let us review those students either during the year or at the end of every year, and make a decision that perhaps they would be better served in their home school. And then the other thing that I believe was left out of the policy was that there cannot be any transfers for athletic reasons. And so I included that as part Q. And then I'm going to assume that you want to maintain that you're not going to charge tuition for any students. Some neighboring schools do. I'm not aware that you have, and so if that's not accurate, you need to let me know between now and the 24th.
The only question I had was ESSA. Would this then be ESSA compliant as well? The students that are coming in from, especially foster care arena?
Yeah, I mean, it's in the foster care is.
I noticed that the language is there, but I just wondered if that was updated or not.
Well, I'll check with Mrs. Clayton and also check with Mr. Strebeck and make sure that we've got our bases covered there. But this is a Neola template that they suggest. One of the complications, and I apologize for it, is they're coming out with a new policy, I think, so, or an updated policy. But I think we need to have this in place for our administrators as they begin to look at students from this year and those that want to express interest in coming here next year.
So can we expect the final draft of everything?
If there's anything that you need clarified or added or taken out, then yes, I want to know that, but you will have a final draft on the 24th.
So do we really need a motion tonight or you?
No, the discussion is fine.
Okay. All right. Any other questions for discussion for that topic? Okay. Just make sure I didn't miss nothing.
No, you're good.
We're good? Okay. All right, school board information. Basically, Mr. Ron, do you wanna go through these real quick, or you want me to?
Lydia Baker was transferred, and she's going from 5th grade to 2nd grade. We have several field trips, some of which are already passed. The middle school to Dairy Queen and Violet Park. 6th grade to Wolf Park. The FFA is planning a trip to Whitco this week for the Career Center for Livestock Judging, and also then to the Delphi Canal Center for Canal Cleanup Day on which they did on the 8th. And in June they're doing the state FFA convention, which is always a really well attended, very exciting event. There's some requests for field trips here for golfing and for bowling, and then the senior trip, May 26th to the Indianapolis Zoo. Do you get to go on that, Mr. Serpent?
I would be afraid they would keep me there.
And then the final item is an announcement that Mrs. Rowe was able to secure a $30,000 grant for new equipment to add to her growing balance of funds.
Any questions on, just the information presented there? All right, future dates and agenda. May 24th, 6 p.m. is our work session. The same night, 7 p.m. is the regular board meeting. Please get with Mr. On, we need to adjust that time a little bit. May 28th is scholarship night. May 29th at 10 a.m. is graduation, and at this point, Ms. Circle, we are on track to be in person with graduation being somewhat normal
Yes.
on attendance.
Somewhat normal, yes. We are asking families only, and they sit in clusters, so they're sitting together and space the difference, space out between family clusters. So,
And you are expecting the school board to sit up on the stage too, right?
yes,
Okay. You guys plan for
please.
that?
I have a feeling there's a couple of people who might wanna hand out a diploma.
Yeah, I kind of figured that too.
Does the board wear their caps and gowns?
No.
They won't let me wear it.
Mr. Rock, are you not wanting one?
All right, June 14th will be our regular, board meeting at 7 p.m. June 27th through July the 6th is student, Spain, Italy. October 1st through the 21st will be homecoming, and October 15th, on the 2021, senior night that night. March 16th through the 22nd of 2022 is the band in New Orleans. And March 18th through the 27th, 2022, is students going to Dublin, Paris. One other thing I may make mention, just to kind of plan, is our, I believe our July board meeting will be pushed back a week.
Yes.
A week, to help accommodate, new superintendent coming in, plus some other stuff we need to be able to take to, since July 4th and all that kind of falls where it does this year.
July 19th,
Huh?
July 19th.
July 19th? Tentatively, okay. And we'll make an announcement at the next board meeting for sure, but. Okay, just so the board can kind of plan, please. All right. Any other, dates? Anything on that part?
Sectionals. We have sectionals, boys and girls softball both the week of graduation, so come support the oracles. They'll be on.
A lot of things happening that week. All right. Good. Okay, board comments. Mr. Owens, start with you.
I want to start tonight by talking about the Reconnecting Youth Program. That's kind of news to me, and I thought that was very interesting to see the data that we've got coming out of that program and how it's helping our students. I think it's a big deal in today's day and age, the way students interact and react with other people that they don't usually do with social media. A lot of that in person is lost nowadays. Glad to hear that the prom went well. That's always exciting to see that we can get back into a normal, usual routine. And some kids lost that last year, and hopefully they were able to get that back this year as well. High hopes, obviously, for new wrestling mats and things like that. Obviously, the goal is to be financially savvy with our money, but to do the things that we need to help the programs and things that our students so deserve. And just kind of close out with hopes for good graduation. Let's try to keep everybody healthy for another month. Get through this and make sure we can kind of function as normal until the end of the school year.
Thank you. Mr. Myers.
Thanks for everybody attending tonight. Again, I'll echo Zach on Reconnecting Youth. That's an impressive program. I enjoy hearing about things like that. Good luck to all our staff and students to finish out the school year. It's hard to believe we're May 10th already. And especially good luck to our seniors in their future endeavors, and a safe and happy graduation to you all.
Mr. Priest.
No, I'd like to thank Mrs. Circle for letting us know about all the FFA awards, and spring sports success, and I was impressed with the Reconnecting youth summary, we backed up with all the data. I'm kind of a math-oriented person, and when I say it was backed up by statistics, it was very impressive. I'd like to thank Mrs. Clayton for her reimbursement work. I know she's bringing a lot of money into the school corporation. Enjoyed administrative reports from Mr. Shiver and Mrs. Gill. I'm happy we could reduce the technology fees for those of our school district. That was a plus. Congratulations to Mr. Rowe for getting a grant for more cafeteria equipment, and I'm glad to see our cafeteria continue with our equipment, getting upgrades and improvements if it was needed. Last, I'm happy to see we're able to squirrel a little money into a rainy day fund. It's been a long time since we've been able to do that. It's a big deal. We came a long way.
Mr. Smith?
Hard to believe we're at the end of the school year. For the year that we've had, it's been an amazing year. Lots of things to celebrate, lots of great things still happening in the schools, and it's an exciting time. Adding the middle school art position, it's been a hot topic for a while. I think that's really going to be a great addition for us. Adding an extra teacher for the CCEC, Camden. You know, I really think that's going to be another opportunity for us. The growth is needed, and it's a big plus for parents. So I think that's really great. I wanted to highlight, we had resignations. Mr. Johnson at the middle school, one of our custodians. Joyce Martin, librarian at the elementary school. Anybody know how many years Joyce has got in?
22 plus I heard.
Yeah, it seems like it's been the base down there for a long, long time. And then two bus drivers, Nancy Lewis and then Bob Hewitt. Again, Bob's been a bus driver for, it feels like decades. I really don't know how long Bob's been doing it, but I want to thank all those people for their service to Delphi. They're a real testimony to our corporation and the quality people that are serving and taking care of our youth. So, and I'll end on that. Thank you.
On all of the previous comments. Plus, I just want to encourage everybody to stay safe, so that we can have the kind of graduation that we want to have. Because it'll really be nice to have everybody on.
Yeah, I will also ditto about everything everybody said. The retirees, I mean, just long service. Joyce, like you said, been here for a long time, and Bob. Welcome.
Thank you.
Glad you're here, not only in person, but to our school. I'd like to talk just a tad bit. Tim and I, and actually Ms. Circle, attended the TIF meeting. And so that's something that we are going to get deeply involved in. Even had a little meeting with Jake today. He met him out as I come out of the courthouse, paying my taxes, so the school can have some more money. But, you know, just gave him some things to let him know that what we're going to need, and that our true goal, I mean, we've reduced some class sizes now, and to keep that going, hopefully speaks volume to people that want to come here, right? Who wants to send their kid to someplace got 28 in the class when we're trying to push 20? So those are the things I think that we still got to be involved in with them. And any tip that's going to be, whether it's through his side of things, the town of Delphi potentially could be doing one. Just, we want to make sure we're involved, and we need to be involved. Again, actually, I want to say thank you to whoever sent us our bus money. So we didn't think that was going to be a while. Mr. Streetback just stepped out, I think. So I know he's been on them to get that too. Stole my thunder. The rainy day fund. You know, it's nice to see that start to go the other way, hopefully, and make that tradition. And I thank you very much, Mr. Ron, because you did say you was going to get that done and reassured us, and you keep your word. And that's something I think is very important to the community, is that we keep our word when we say we're going to do, and be stewards of the money. With that, actually, I need one more motion, guys. Good job.